Welcome. I'm Alfred Lambob Weber. I'm extremely pleased to be again here with Chris Burris and Patty Greer and C60Evo.com ESS60 for another panel of this extraordinary carbon 60 miracle. So over to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming us, especially on a regular basis, because it keeps your audience, which is so multi-worldly, adept and attuned with all of our new products and all the things that we're doing in the lab in Texas, which is really moving forward with a variety of different tests to see the benefits of C60 on a repeating basis so that we can actually show up with scientific documentation. And I'll let Chris elaborate on that, but we've got a sleep study, we've got a DNA changing study, and we've got a longevity study that began last year. And as we go through, we're going to learn a whole lot more about this molecule that's been manufactured by my partners at the SES Research Lab in Texas for the last almost 30 years. I know Chris doesn't look old enough, but yeah, he's been doing it that long with his partner. And Alfred and I just keep anti-aging because we're taking enough of the product to make a difference. But I'm going to let Chris elaborate on the testing that we're doing, because in my opinion, if you're looking to buy ESS60, which is pure C60, from any lab in the world, you're going to want to do it from a lab that's a real laboratory, not a garage or a basement. I know I've said this a number of times, but people don't get how many garage and basement companies are out there where they basically just buy the raw product from SES Research, where you can get the top C60 in the world, and then they mix it in their basement in an Amazon mixer, and they think it's going to be as good as what you would get in airtight, oxidation-free, light-free urns that spin repeatedly at the same speed for 3 weeks, nonstop, to bring you the best quality, which is what we deliver at ESS60. So I like tested, I like guaranteed to be safe for human consumption, and I like being a co-owner and CEO of C60Evo.com with Chris and Robert at the research lab, the only one in the world that I would trust to make my C60, which goes in that mouth and on my face and on my hands. So over to you, Captain Chris.
Yeah, you said that you know, and I don't think you clarified, in the best case scenario, they're buying SES, really ESS60, because we keep track. We actually do keep track of what people are purchasing and what they're using it for. And we've actually stopped selling to people who were buying inferior products and putting them in products for consumption, like just absolutely dangerous stuff. And the clarification is if you're lucky, they're buying from us. Because if you're unlucky, you don't even have a clue where they're buying. You have no ideas about the quality of the product that they're even taking first to then dissolve into the olive oil. And then there's just myriad problems trying to actually get the product to come out with a really good concentration. And we know this to be a fact because we've looked at 22 plus brands and products that are on the market. And my phrase is consistently that they're woefully low in concentration. They fit perfectly. Actually, it's a little more extreme. There's an article I read some time ago, actually, when I was debating even getting into this industry because it has such a bad reputation. And one of the peer-reviewed published research papers that I read said that 50% of the products, of the supplement products, I'm not even talking 60, you see 60, ESS60, we're just talking about the supplement products on the market, don't have in them what they say they have in them. Again, peer-reviewed published research. That was like one of the things that caused me to hesitate to even go into this business. And then you look at, 22 woefully low concentrations. It fits naturally. It's actually a little extreme on the negative side. It's actually worse in this industry than in the supplement industry in general. And so, yeah, if they're lucky, they're buying SES Research product. And we've already tested them, at least 22 of the brands that are out there, products that are out there. and C60 Evo, like that's get it from the source. Before I jump into some of the tests, Alfred, I'd just like to get an update, right? Like any observations you've had on the product. We're running a sleep study. Maybe you can like, hey, it's kind of fun to say like, hey, I know they're running a sleep study, and based on my experience, here's what I think they'll find. And on our sleep study, we actually keep track of the average sleep, how easy it was to fall asleep, the restlessness, and how they felt after the sleep. So I don't know, maybe give a little bit of your perspective from your experience.
Well, you know that as a lawyer and as a follower of George Washington, I cannot tell a lie. So I don't know if
You
you
can
want to
chop
go.
down a cherry tree, but you cannot tell a lie.
No. But what I can attest to is that the reasons why I take C60 ESS60, C60 Evo ESS60 is that increased clarity, increased clear thinking, anti-aging, antiviral, especially in these days of a quote pandemic, whatever that means, and all of those issues. Those are the reasons why I take it. If you want to get into my sleep, sometimes I only sleep 2 or 3 hours a night because I'm awoken I go to bed, sleep at 10 at night, and I'm woken at 2 in the morning to do a download, and I work through till noon the next day or till 5 o'clock the next day. So I don't think that I'm an adequate test subject because I'm on a different kind of a cycle there. But I mean, I was remarking to and these are all subjective things, but I was remarking to Patty prior to the program that for me, the term old is not in my vocabulary anymore. It blows my mind that I'm going to be 80 years young in just a few short period of time. And it blows my mind.
Wow.
I don't feel that I'm 80. And I get remarks online that I'm in my 40s. And that's half the chronological age. And that's something that's objective. And I feel that that's where my mentality and my mental faculties are. So I think that this really, since we are carbon-based life forms, that this buckyball is actually, making you a better Homo sapiens, a better human being, and it is not artificial intelligence or nanobots. It's quite the opposite. It's a organic an organic carbon molecule, like like all organic materials that you would eat, like a leaf of lettuce, and
Except this one's a miracle molecule
yeah,
rather than a leaf.
yeah.
What
So right.
The comments that people make on your shows, because I've been doing shows with you more than 10 years, people notice your anti-aging.
Yeah, and that's something that is actually happening. If you were to put me in pictures of my peers, for example, people in my law school class are U.S. senators, and if you were to put me next to the U.S. senator, the U.S. senator looks like this 80-year-old person, and I look like their page.
They're sunshine
And,
boy.
and it's not just looks, it's where my head is.
Thank God for this product. That's all I can
You know,
say.
and so I think it is, and I've been able to integrate it into a theory of time people can go to, because I am a futurist, and and it integrates with a lot of the concepts that I deal with. People can go to positivefuture.info, where it's integrated into theories of time, and that it integrates with a positive timeline. And also, having gone through the Jupiter Saturn portal, that we're on a positive timeline. So we're just, it's consciousness. You're more able to pick up on the higher vibration, uh, uh, the higher vibration of that is now landing around Earth. And that's what we call ascension. Ascension is really just being able to become aware and operate in the higher frequencies of the vibration. And if I were to characterize one of the effects of ESS60, and again, this is subjective, okay, just me talking, is that, oh, it facilitates you being able to be aware of and operate in higher frequencies.
I would agree. I think it really does something to the brain that is so relaxing. And at a time like this, when the world is going through so much, a remedy for softer thinking is priceless. I know it works for me, and I've been tested to the max. And people say to me, how do you stay so calm? Well, I think this product has a lot to do with it, a lot. And also owning a company with integral people has given me a great calm to know that I'm doing something really good for the planet. And the compliments we are getting are nonstop, especially for the new facial serum that we just put out, which is called C60 Evo Advanced Facial Serum. And I decided to do something on the air, which I've never done. Beautiful bottle, Captain. I decided that I didn't give one of my gift sets to anybody for Christmas. So I gave it to myself today. I wanted to see what happens when you open one of these gift boxes. And we are selling, it's interesting, more monthly subscriptions to the in and out set, which is the facial serum and the oil that you take on a spoon. So here's a big bottle, and here's our new baby bottle. So you can see we've got a lot of varieties of sizes, but the reason for the baby bottle is it's just a sampler, 2 ounce, but we sell them by the dozen. And I really want to encourage doctors and dentists and healers and chiropractors to pop a dozen on their counter and see what happens. If you get a 2 ounce bottle, you can sell it for under $50. If you buy a dozen bottles from us, you get 25% off. So it's a really good deal. And you can have people then try it for under 50 bucks. And then they can decide if it works for them. But most people are saying yes after they give it a go. It's like a day or two. The facial serum, though, has been over the top. I get a call from people right when they put it on. They're like, oh my God. And I love the scent, which is rosemary. But today I opened one, and I didn't open the bits yet, but I just wanted to share online because I'm so impressed by our shipping company. So it's all tissued up, so nothing can move. Woohoo, woohoo. And then each bottle is individually wrapped in a really pretty tissue. Our facial serum comes in gold tissue. The oil comes in purple. And Chris did show you the oil. So why don't you pull up yours and show them the amazing long glass stopper. I've never seen a bottle like this. So you push on the top, you don't spill anywhere. And
it's got a
push on the top.
squeegee. It's got a squeegee
yeah.
right here in the tip so that it's squeegeeing any oil that would be on that dropper. And so you suck it up and then you just drop it out.
And look at the tip. It's got a little curve on it. Again, I'm just impressed. I'm really pleased with the bottles, the shipping, but more the quality. So it's kind of fun to open it, you know, when it arrives. And I've had enough compliments that I thought I should open a box and see what it looks like. And if you just buy the facial serum, it comes in this purple sliding box. Oh, it's really beautiful. So yeah, I'm all gabby about it because Chris and I do opposite ends of the business. I'm all about how it feels, how it makes you feel, what the bottle looks like, what the packaging looks like, and how we can get it out to the world. And Chris and the scientists at the lab make sure that you're getting what you pay for and that it gets out on time. So yesterday we had our first annual meeting and it was just like a celebration. Our first year was stellar and we are selling to so many countries. I'm thinking, who is getting us so international? But then I think of Alfred, who talks to everybody in the world. And I think your shows are the most far reaching of any. And you're in Canada. Richard Serrett's in Canada. Our beautiful blonde pigtail girl is in Spain. Jason's in England. So I'm thinking, do we even have any Americans promoting us? Yes, we do. The YouTube empire, we have different people promoting us all the time. But every time I get the orders, I'm the one that just goes all the way to the bottom. Where do you live? Australia is huge for us. Canada's huge. England is huge. Spain, Italy, Croatia. I mean, Hong Kong, Japan, Thailand. We've sold so many places. Ireland last week. For me, this is exciting because it says the work we're doing on shows like yours is getting out to the people that want to hear the news. And that there's something that actually works. So, you know, when you buy it once and you don't buy it again, well, you know, it was okay. I wanted to try it. But our subscriptions just keep going up and up and up and up. And people stay loyal. And to me, that's a sign of a good product that's worth buying. We have very few cancellations and constant subscription people signing up because you save 20%. On every order. And the gift set with the facial and the oil edible has been one of our top sellers. And we do it in the 4-ounce olive oil and the 8-ounce olive oil. And they're always the same size serum. But it's a really great combination to gift yourself at least once, and you might hook yourself up on a regular subscription. And for people that want to try it, sign up for subscription, get your 20% discount. And if you don't love it, call us, send us an email. You're done. But I don't think you will. I think you're going to write us and say, wow, that was amazing. So that's what we hope. That's what my friends are saying. And my mother, who's just so snooty because she's done all these elegant products, she's like, oh, this is really nice. And she said, you know, it did the same thing as my really expensive stuff for my face, but what it changed was my lips. She said, I've been going to the dermatologist to try and fix my lips. I've had this thing for years and nothing. And she said, all of a sudden my lips are healed. So I called Chris and I said, Chris, our next product is a lip remedy because Evo works on lips. So I went to our formulator and we got our recipe and sent it to the lab. So by the end of the month or early next month, we are going to be bringing C60 Evo lip remedy, which I got to say, for the first time in my Colorado life, I don't have scaly lips. It really works. And yesterday at our meeting, my partner said, okay, unscrew your sample, because all I have is one sample, the lip balm, all the way up and leave it out so we can make sure it doesn't change color. And I'm like, no, I use it all the time. And they said, we'll send you another one. So it's sitting over there staring at me, and I walk up and I don't want it to fall off, you know, but I'm pretty hooked on it because it's super moist. I'm just loving our products. And now that we know that bringing out new things for the body, the physical, as well as the interior, we're going to expand on being able to heal every inch of the body, which people are going to need more and more as we don't age, as Alfred said, as we evolve our skin and our bodies.
Well, and one of the things that you complimented the bottle. In reality, you came up with the formulation. You actually involved two experts, and you might be. It's Brigitte is one of them, right? Is that correct? You might want to talk a little bit about her. I think that's an interesting story, and then
Yeah.
I can pick back up.
Brigitte Mars is a well-known herbalist around the world to people that are into herbs, raw foods, raw cooking. She's written, gosh, I think somewhere between 14 and 25 books. I can't keep up with her, but raw food. So it's called Rawsome. Raw is the law. Super clever. I mean, she is an expert with everything, as she's also been a friend for 40 plus years, and she lives in Boulder. So she does these regular field trips with kids and adults where you take a walk in the forest, but you get about 2 feet and you stop, because she can eat, drink, smoke, make tea, do something with almost every plant in the woods, in people's backyards, in the alleys. So Brigitte is an expert on natural foods that are growing everywhere on earth. So I called her and I said, would you help me with a formulation? And she said, well, you know, I do that for a living. No, I didn't. So I went to her really more for the herbal aspect, because Chris at the lab has a woman that's done a lot of work on formulations, but I use both of them. And I'm looking at Brigitte, and she's my age, which is young 60s, and her skin was more buttery than I'd ever seen. And I said, whew. And she said, chia seed oil. Who's ever heard of chia seed oil? So that was the first one on our list for C60 Evo facial serum. And by the time we finished, she told me about the rosemary oil being amazing for to put on, especially at night with the serum, and you can really smell it. It's wonderful, and it enhances sleep. And you were talking about multi-dimensional layering, Alfred. She said it really takes you into the etheric zone in your dream state to have this particular essence of rosemary oil. So once I had the chia seed and the rosemary oil and the list of things that she recommended that are fabulous natural products for the skin, we knew we were going to go organic as best we could, and we wanted everything to be vegan, no animal products, no chemicals. And we came up with 21 ingredients with our other formulator to bring the Evo product to market. And I haven't heard a bad thing, even from people with oily skin. It goes in beautifully. Even people that put on makeup layers, they say 10 minutes, let it go into the skin. It's not oily, but it's very moist. And then makeup goes on beautifully over it. I don't do layers of makeup, but people that do have said on the air, wow, this really works.
So she spent so much time, right, working with two amazing ladies on creating the product. I get the product, I'm like, this is an amazing product. We need to put it in an amazing container, right? And that's where we ended up with this glass container, frosted glass container, and this kind of silver push button eyedropper. It's pretty exciting to be working on these. And then now we've got lip remedy. We've got to work on packaging on that. We're really excited about those products that are coming out. So I wanted to pull up, I think last time or time before, maybe we talked about some of the sleep data that's coming out. We've got another person who's gone through the program. Again, we've got another video testimonial that they're going to continue on the product, which I think, like, fundamentally that just explains everything. They signed up kind of blindly into this sleep study. They get the C60 Evo formula. They actually they collect data. So they do survey data for 10 days prior to taking the C60 Evo formula, 10 days on it, 10 days off of it, and then 10 days back on it. And so I'm going to kind of take over the screen here and pull up this most recent data set. And this is from Giselle. And if you look here, we've got 4 groups of columns. And the blue one represents the 10 days of data that they collected, again, related to average sleep, how easy was it to fall asleep, restlessness, how they felt the next day. I need to work on those labeling. And then the blue was 10 days off, that first baseline. Red was 10 days on the C60 Evo formulation, yellow off, 10 days off, and then green back on. It's interesting, and we've seen this before, where there's this peak where when they come off of the product for 10 days, we tend to see this increase, which is interesting. I'm going to propose another study that we do to try and understand that better. I think we do actually have one person going through doing 20 days off, 20 days on, 20 days off, 20 days on to see if that effect kind of goes away. But the fundamental thing to look at this is blue is basically the baseline, what their sleep was like prior to trying the product, and then the green is what their number is, really what the average for those 10 days that they were back on the product that second 10 days. And it is always substantially higher. So you always, the rate, how the participants rate their sleep on the second 10 days on the product. Well, even on the first 10 days on the product, you can see it's always positive. And on the second 10 days, it's always positive according to the relative to the baseline. So this is pretty exciting data. Like I said, ultimately, even if this data looked whatever wonky and we couldn't explain it, if the customers come off of it, or if the participants come off of it and say that they're going to continue to be a customer, then we know that that's really like, and then we see them actually become customers and be customers. That's a put your money where your mouth is, because it's all well and good to rate something and say that you would take it, but there can be a big difference between like, oh yeah, I would take that, and then am I going to actually invest in my health and start taking that product?
That's very interesting. I don't know if I've got the willpower to give up 10 days.
Oh, okay. So I had to go through this, right? I mean, yes. I've got an Oura ring. That was kind of the generation of this. And it was in 2020, this is pre-lockdown. I knew I had actually gotten my Oura ring probably right before December, or right in December of 2019. And I needed to do 10 days off, but I had an incredibly busy January and February. I was at conferences. I was flying in for podcasts. And so there was no way I was going off the product during those times. So I actually ended up going off the product for 10 days. I think it was in the beginning of March. And one of the artifacts that kind of sucks, but kind of supports the value, I ended up getting a migraine during the 10 days off of that product. And I talk about migraines on a regular basis, where I used to get 4 to 5 migraines a year. And when I started taking the product earnestly in 2018, I didn't get a single migraine. So I'm not that surprised that I got a migraine on the 10 days that I was off the product in 2020. I pulled up a review, and you can actually do a Google. This is a Google review, C60 Evo, and you can find this. Now, this is a review. We haven't been evaluated by the FDA. So we're not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. And this example, I'm actually just bringing it up, not because, hey, this is what our product does, but it's one of the things that drove us to actually create the facial serum. So this is from Donna. It's one of the most amazing effects of the C60 Evo is how, after taking it for a while and using it for brown spots on my face, it finally started erasing the spots. That's only a surface result. Internally, I know the product gives me much more energy, and I try all the time to get others to use it. Excellent product. I tried other C60 brands before. Remember, we're really an ESS60 brand. That's C60 that's not industrial, C60 that's actually been processed for safer human consumption. But this one was the one that really started helping me. That's exciting. Like that's the type of thing that we got on a regular basis that we're like, in fact, frankly, it sounds like she actually was putting it on her face. We've got customers who were just taking it internally who had similar testimonials. And that's why we created this facial serum.
Well, also because people said, well, I drip sometimes off my spoon. And so I'd always tell them what I do. Don't waste a drop. I don't care where it landed. Wipe it up and put it on your face. And people that have known me on the air for more than 10 years know probably my skin used to have a lot of brown spots. And I got to say, I am so impressed with the difference in my skin. But I also want to say that you've got to prepare yourself for a little bit of detox. I go to a dermatologist every 6 months, and she'll freeze whatever's brown, and then it peels, and then it would come back. So I started putting the Evo on my face before we made the serum. And I would just put the oil on my face, and then I'd go and let her freeze them, and they came back a lot less. And now they're not coming back at all, which is really very exciting. But I had a funny little segment I used to do when we were in our first 6 months called Guess What Came Out of My Body This Week? Because the Evo really pushes the toxins. All I knew was it minimizes and vacuums up free radicals. How do you say that scientifically?
Well, it bonds with the free radicals and it is a free radical sponge.
And it neutralizes them.
Yes.
So all these toxins that are in your body are drawn like a magnet to the molecule. Can you explain literally how that happens, that we're detoxing with this molecule in our body?
So we know that it's a free radical scavenger. In terms of detoxing, I haven't read any studies that talk, because and really in detoxing in general, I haven't read any studies that talk about that process. It's really a challenging scientific process to actually quantify detoxification. In our case, it's probably just getting those free radicals out of your body, which cause what you're about to describe. Yeah.
Well, so I just want to tell ladies and gents, because the product is for everybody that's got skin. So it's not just for women. You guys have skin too.
Yeah.
And everybody sees it. So you want to keep it pretty. But you do have to be patient because it pulls the toxins out. And I do recommend you go and get the freezing so that you kind of layer off, scuff off, whatever. But it took me maybe 1.5 years till my skin got this clear. But I don't plan on having too many brown spots down the road because I have pulled a lot out. I also had a surgery, and I've had a couple in the last year, but no pain. I've had no pain after any medical procedure. The pain is maybe anticipation of what's coming, but I also have ESS60 brain, so I'm really disciplined, like, oh, good, thank you for leaving. One more thing, leaving my body. But after all the treatments that I've had, I have no pain. And it really throws me. It's like, how could I be pain-free after I just got a scoop cut out of my body? And I don't know the answer, but I can guarantee you, I used to feel when I hurt. I've got unbelievable pain threshold now because it doesn't hurt that much anymore. So I'm not sure what the ESS60 has done to my physical body, to my brain, that hookup in there, but I am not only calmer than ever, but also I don't get pain when my body gets healed from removing toxicity. So it's work, I mean, I have pushed a lot out of me. And when I had that surgery, it was on my leg. The doctor told me that the inside stitches will melt and dissolve. The outside stitches will take out in a month. Well, the inside stitches will not dissolve in me because my body's like, no, we don't want any of your crap. And so it formulated this teeny little hard ball, like a white rock, that came out the top of my stitches, scared the pee out of me. And I called the doctor and she said, wow, a spitting suture. Not very often do we see those, but that's what it is. No big deal. Your body said no to melting whatever is in that stuff. And it literally formed it into a ball and spit it back out. And I'm just like, go girl.
That's awesome.
Right? I mean, it's like, I'm waiting to see what's going to come out next, but I'm thinking, do I need to, slow down my intake? But I had more to detox than anybody I know. So I don't think this is going to happen to most people. But a lot of people do have the brown spots on the skin. So the remedy is definitely be rubbing it on your face. And then when you see those brown spots, do go get your dermatologist or somebody to do the little freezing, which doesn't hurt. And then it peels off, sloughs off, hit it again with the ESS60, and it might pull out more brown spots. And then you get that frozen off, you know, every 6 months. And all of a sudden you'll have pulled out all that toxic crap that's under the layer of your skin, or at least I did. I'm not a scientist or a doctor, and I don't practice medicine because they're all still practicing. But I do know that the results, like Alfred says, all I know is this is what happened for me.
And it fits in with the most consistent testimonial that we have, which is customers taking it in the morning, reporting mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. And if you dive into what better sleep, the ramifications of better sleep, then you know that really explains all the wonderful testimonials that we're getting. So so it's great to be involved in a product that has such positive results for our customers.
Right, and I would like to. Oops, I would like to mention also that C60 Evo ESS60 is a sponsor of Exopolitics TV. So when you go and make your purchase, you can get an extra savings by using this code, and that's E as in Edward, V as in Victor, ALW. That's EVALW, and Exopolitics TV will get 15% of what you purchase. So it's a win-win for everybody. You win, ESS60 wins, and we win, and everybody wins.
What does the customer get for their special discount when they use your code, Alfred?
I'm sorry?
What does the customer get?
I believe that they get 10%. Is that correct?
Last year it was 5, this year it's 10.
10, yeah.
Yeah. So
and so yeah, so do you know we that's an extra benefit that you can take advantage of.
Team players we are. Yeah. Well, again, you know, what for me is really impressing me after our first year and 3 months now is the repurchasing. And when Amazon had a conversation with me, they said we have an uncommon high repurchase rate. And then they compared us to the other C60 companies that might maybe sell a lot more C60 because they've been on Amazon for a few years. But they said we are at 63% of the people that bought from us reordered. And he said that the other companies, their top companies selling C60 were at 23% for reorder. In my opinion, that says when somebody wants it or not again a second time, that's about the quality or about the economy. A lot of people can't afford it now, but I do want to remind people that if they sign up for a subscription, 20% off. If you buy a dozen, 25% off. And we do wholesale in larger quantities. People can write us. We're always open to new affiliates who can get it out to their audience, their mailing list, and also make money like we do with Alfred and our other influencers. You know, we're team players and we're in a new timescape of promotions. It's not really about advertising in the newspaper or big ads on TV. It's about getting out there on social media and letting people know what you're doing. And we have great support with influencers because once they get the product, they love it. And we have an influencer with a pretty big following who's been begging for the facial serum. And we hadn't done a show with her for a while. And, you know, we're loyal when we're loyal. Of course, you know, to anybody we work with, we want you to have the products. But it was really funny. I was hammered and peppered. And she was just begging because she said, listen, I'm hooked. You gotta hook me up. So, you know, I mean, for me, it's just compliments. I think that when you've got something this good, I love turning people on to it. And they usually come back for more. So what I want to say about moving forward is my new effort is getting these little 2-ounce dozen bottles out to medical people and healers, because the more people that get to try it, the more people that will heal. And we are being dosed with enough ways to stress out. I pray for people that have lost their business, that are fighting with their family members, with all this weird interaction mentally that's going on in America and the rest of the world with the masking and all this stuff. But I have this very strange, I don't want to say arrogance, but I take ESS60 more than 172 times the power of vitamin C. I'm not going to get sick. I barely got sick in the past, but now that I'm on the Power Mega antioxidant, I'm not scared of people. I mean, I do the polite thing. The mask Nazi made me put it up over my nose or leave the grocery store today. And I just held my breath and went, So we're in a time where we're going to need to really behave well, be kind to others, and gift your friends and family a remedy that works, that will keep them healthy, perhaps the facial serum that will help them be more beautiful. But I'm telling you, the first time you put it on your skin at night and you wake up in the morning, that's when people are writing us, oh my God, only one day. Ann Vandersteel, I don't know how many of you watch her, but she is absolutely gorgeous blonde with Voice America. She's also hooked on the product, and I'm hoping she's going to promote it with us. But the difference in her skin, she said, was remarkable. And she's always on the road traveling because she's a pretty well-known influencer. And she said the product has been a super blessing, going from state to state where the air and the moisture is all so different. She said, this is just flawless, and she can put her makeup over it. So yeah, we're hitting all the right people and making people happy.
Very good. So yeah, so I think that we've come to the requisite time now. Chris, do you have any thoughts for the end of the show here, or?
Well, we're going into 2021. It's already been interesting, and we're almost halfway through January. I'm really just hoping for a less interesting year. I would like this year to be more fun, more joy, more camaraderie, and a lot less interesting than 2020 has, and even the first part of 2021 has been. That's what I would like. That's what I'm hoping for.
Alfred, what are you hoping for?
Well, I take my teaspoon of ESS60 in the morning, and life becomes very interesting. It does. And it is an interesting life. I mean, we all chose to incarnate at this time, and so there are a lot of different ways to look at it. I sort of look at this time as breakdown, breakthrough.
I like that.
Yep.
Well, in the beginning, because I had done other C60 products, and I say C60, not ESS60. And again, I want to elaborate on the difference between C60, which most people know it as, and ESS60, which is only made at Chris and Robert's lab, our parent company. The quality can't be beat. And when he said, we've actually turned down customers that want, it's not cheaper, but it's industrial grade. The other C60, and they've got a lab that makes it all after 30 years. They've got the elite ESS60 for edible, guaranteed to be safe for human consumption, or over here for industrial purposes, solar cells, tires, whatever. There's other uses for industrial grade C60. But Chris was telling me that they had customers that were selling it and pretending it was this good, when in fact they were buying the cheaper stuff that they shouldn't be putting in a human body. And they've had results that have shown not so good. So it's not like we're trying to suck in all the business. What we want to do is make sure that people know you don't want to buy C60 that's not guaranteed to be safe for human consumption. There is a big difference. It's in the processing that's done at the lab. The ESS60 is pure, it's clean, it's a longer process, and it's a lot healthier than something that's questionable. So the other companies, we don't know where they're buying if they're not buying from us. And I'm not that curious because we've got us. And even if they bought from us, and then they go mix it with their little Amazon spinner in their basement or in their garage, or if they've got 10 of them lined up because they sell so many, it's going to be a different frequency. It's going to be a different quality. And a lot of people won't notice, but I did, because I had done other products. And when I got to the lab and saw the possibilities of bringing this brand new elite version, ESS60, that's when we started 1.25 years ago. And all we do is ESS60. So you're going to see us come up with all these different ways to use it that can enhance the human body. But it did win the Nobel Prize in Science in the 1990s because it's not just your average molecule. They referred to it as a miracle molecule because of things like this. Like, what? And I'm older than when I started with all my brown spots. So I encourage everyone to give it a try. Even if you just do a little 4-ounce bottle, try it on a subscription. It'll be $95 down to $75 just to try it. And we have 3 different flavors, but Chris and I are honest enough to say, get the olive oil. It's got more than twice as much C60 as any MCT coconut oil will hold. It's considerably more than avocado oil, which is still good. Avocado oil holds 0.6 milligrams per milliliter. The olive oil holds 0.8, sometimes 0.85. So nothing can top organic olive oil and ESS60. It's going to be the strongest, most potent, highest concentration of C60 anywhere in the world that you're going to be able to buy today. That's what I take. That's what Alfred takes. And that's what Chris takes.
Yep.
But Chris also puts coconut in his coffee, and he puts different flavors in everything. I just wipe it on my body but I'm all about the olive oil, which I was never into the taste of olive oil, but now I am, because it hardly has any taste on the spoon. Some people, I don't want to swallow on a spoon. You know, can I put it on my steak? Yeah, you can put it on your steak and put it in your salad, but why bother? On a spoon, it's like effortless and it's done and you get it all in. I also like to swish in my teeth, and my gums have really improved since swishing it around my mouth before I swallow it. So that's what I've got, is a lot of happiness from this product and a lot of wonderful positive testimonials that you guys can read on the website. So our website is C60Evo.com, EVO like evolution, and do use Alfred's code to save money. Even if you get a sampler set that's already discounted, you still get another 10% off with Alfred's code EV and his initials ALW. Yeah, so use that at checkout and you'll get the best deal on the market.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred, for your amazing worldly audience. And wherever you guys are out there, we love you, we appreciate you, and we love hearing about what's going on with you and C60 Evo in your country. So I think we're about to say, absolutely, without a doubt, if you guys will take some time and post a really honest testimonial about your benefits that you're feeling on Google, on Amazon. We need to get people to know about the product. So if you will kindly post a real serious, authentic testimonial and copy us at the company, hello@C60Evo.com, we will send you a complimentary 2-ounce bottle of olive oil. It is the best. And you won't have to pay for it. It's just a gift on top of the oil that you already are taking. But if you say, well, I'd like to try the avocado, we'll give you a 2-ounce avocado. So whatever it is that you might like, we're up for sharing our little 2-ounce samplers, your choice of a flavor, if you'll drop us a wonderful testimonial on Google, Amazon, or C60 Evo support group. And once we find it, we'll kind of share it around, but it really helps us for you to tell people how it works for you, because then they feel a little better than hearing it come from the 3 of us. that have been using it for years. But you can see the results. You know, Alfred and I are a little older. Chris represents a younger generation, but I think we're all looking pretty ageless considering what we're doing. It's made a huge difference. So many blessings. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Bye-bye.